Alright, so this is an opportunity for you to learn how to take Excel and put it into a PowerPoint. Just a couple of different techniques. So the presentation, prep, demo. And let's throw in a subtitle just to make sure that we have this done in some decent way. Joining Excel, or bringing Excel into, would be the other way to say it, joining Excel to PowerPoint. Alright, so let's create a new slide. We could use the one that's here, but let's just do it from scratch. So a new slide. In this case we're going to use double content. The title is going to be Gap Discovery, and then again we want to do a subtitle, but let's do a smaller subtitle. Let's make it a couple of sizes smaller, and let's see now. Alright, so let's type in some text here. I'm not going to make you watch me type all of this, but let's just bring a couple of bullet points in, and then I will add to it. So created a scatter chart. This is just talking about the history behind this slide. So there, you'll recall we had created a scatter chart, created a regression line. Well, actually we did 3 of them. We saw the different trajectories, and I'm going to indent this because it's a subpoint. And actually I'm not even going to have it as a bullet, by the way. Alright, so now I have these points that there were different trajectory, and then I looked at other factors. So that's sort of my lead-in to what's going to happen. And let's go and get some stuff. Let's get rid of this. We actually just want the space. There are ways of including charts and stuff using what's there, but I like to just do it the simple way. So I'm going to cut that out of the way. Now let's go to Excel finally, and the first chart here is average. So we select it, we copy it as normal, and then we go back to PowerPoint, and here we have a few options for pasting, but let's do that last option and put it, and then we're going to resize it. You can play around with different options for bringing it in, but that is probably the preferred method, just using that last paste method. Okay, sized and spaced. How about getting another one? Let's see if we can't go back over and get the other chart. So we go back to Excel. We just need to scroll over so we can get to the other one. We select it and copy it, of course, and then use the same paste picture at the end there, and then size it. There we are. So that's the important. And now what we want to do with this is add a little bit of pizzazz to it, but to do that we have to, of course, put in the text that we wanted to go along with these slides. So we looked at the other factors and add some subpoints. So but before we do that, actually, let's begin our process of animating our text. So here we're going to have it come in as individual lines, and that gives you a preview of how it's going to come in. It's going to come in, notice that well 3 comes in with 2. Okay, so I've opened up the animation pane, and under the animation pane there's a little double arrow that I can click to see each line as it's going to come in, and now I can see under looked at other factors that it's its own subpoint. Noticed trajectories and then looked at other factors. So let's, now that even with animation, let's add a subpoint. So we put in the bullet, and of course what are we looking at as far as other factors? Well, true and important, and that's what our charts are going to be for. So we indent that, And now we want to animate that separately. So we go over, we can right click on that item as a separate item, and start on click means it won't come up with the point before it. It comes up separately. Then we select the first chart, and we want it to come up as true and important comes up. So what we're going to do, we're going to add an entrance animation for that. You see that entrance animation, but we're going to modify it so that instead of coming in as a separate thing, right click and come in with previous. So when the true and important comes up, then that will as well. Now for the other picture, we don't want it at the same time, but we do want it to come in. There it is coming in, and now we're going to actually modify it and say have that after the previous. So as soon as the other one's finished coming in, then we'll do that one. Now, how about if we get a chance to take a look at how that's going to be? So let's go ahead and run our slideshow from the beginning. There's our title page. If I click, I go to the second page. My first comes in, I click, and each time I click, it brings in a new point. But now when I get to true and important, notice the chart comes in with it, and then the other chart comes in after it.